most of my patients come from a non-sporting population who have sat down and paid to only move their fingertips, either a cell phone, laptop, computer. And but for them, I wouldn't have had a great practice of sports medicine in a non-sporting population.
How did this jump happen? So when did this happen?
The challenge was this, that I didn't have a teacher to even look at this as a specialty, wherein I didn't know whether I'm going on the right direction because I'm avoiding a surgery. I'm worried what they was being told. So like all these guys who are walking and have not had an injury, no fall, no accident, no major trauma to say that is so obvious.
All of them are players, basically.
No, the players have come and the people who accompanied the players were what they asked. Oh yeah, those guys who came as parents or attendants of the players who had come had asked me, if you can do this with them, I also have a knee pain. When I saw the doctor, he said, I have an arthritis and you may have to replace the knee, or I have a disc bulge or anything. I realized that these guys are talking about a problem for which there is no injury and they have a major issue. And then we are a society that is moving towards a luxury as an absolute requirement. In that luxury, we destroyed the main fiber by which the body could move and do things effortlessly, effectively, efficiently, economically. So all these components made the difference in the quality of life being destroyed at a very young age. And you have to understand, Indians are standing in the forefront. They are the leaders of diabetes in the world. They are leading cardiac diseases in the world. We are number one. Don't worry, because we sat down to work more and more, and we found that their luxury is what? You can sit down and watch anything that you want to do as movies, TVs. So the possibility of you moving has shrunk. The more and more we are going to shrink this population from mobility in the name of luxury. Welcome into the area of pain, diseases, of inactivity or non-communicable diseases. These non-communicable diseases are preventable. They are not diseases that we should wait and they will land and then you go to the doctor. These are preventable diseases, and you can take measure through your awareness, understanding, and then application. So problem is we are not even aware, and Sparrc is trying to tell people that this awareness not being present, that someone tells you you have to do exercise. So the patient asks me, Doc, you fix me. Why should I do exercise? I don't have to do exercise. I have a knee pain, you fix it fully. No, I tell them, no, I'm assisting the process of healing. 80% is with you, 20% with us.
So rightly said, Doc. 80%, yes, it's in the patient's hands. And that's what at Sparrc we regularly advise our patients that, you know, we do 20%, like the pain management, first aspect of what we do as myofascial trigger point therapy. That again is something that's done everywhere today, especially in Tamil Nadu and all over India now. I think you started it 30 years back. Again, this is one tool, using your hands as your own tool to reduce pain. And you started it, I don't know, 3 decades back. And that was the only thing that you used to manage pain and produce healing. And then you started prescribing exercises for the sporting population. That is how it was in the beginning as well, isn't it? So that was introduced into Sparrc for the non-sporting population, for the area of pain management. And then again, we say, 80% it's in your hands when we prescribe exercise and ask them to exercise. That's how we have arrived at this. So tell me, how did you first ever understand that myofascial trigger point therapy can do this magic of reducing pain instantly?
Now, if you ask me whether I introduced myofascial trigger point, I think it introduced itself to me. And it was just a divine intervention, perhaps, because I was looking at what kind of management that can be extended to a population that is constantly getting injured on the field, and you're running there and you have to fix that problem in the shortest duration because everyone's eyes are there. And if there are cameras, they're going to zoom in and zoom out and then see what you're going to do that's going to make the player back. This all was my requirement. In that process, other than what was possible from our allopathic medicine, I was keen on trying to find out what acupuncture could do, what other things Verma could do. I wanted to check that out. In that process, one of the
Why did you look at all the alternative aspects?
because our medicine was, even today our medicine is inadequate to manage
You
some
mean our medicine?
as allopathic medicine, as our unfortunate thing that we are saying as though Ayurveda, Siddha is not our medicine. But we need to say that from the mainstream that we are holding today as allopathic practice, from where we say doctors only come from there, as though others are not doctors.
Doctor, I have to clarify this because a lot of people think you're a physiotherapist. They think you're an acupuncturist. They think you're talking about Verma because you're talking about myofascial, system and things like that. So I have to say you're an allopathic practitioner. So don't get me wrong. I understand that you have an open mind and you're including so many other alternative medicine and or even others Indian medicine into the practice. But yes, go ahead. Tell me why did you even look for those things? That's more important. How did you integrate all of those things into sports medicine?
Oh, because there was nothing possible. For example, the first experience ever I realized the limitations of our medicine, allopathic practice, is I used to take the guys who were injured in the YMCA, and these guys used to have an ankle sprain. For example, the commonest injury is ankle sprain. And I used to take them to Government General Hospital, the senior most orthopedic surgeon has seen, and then they'll put them in a cast, POP, plaster of Paris, cast for an ankle sprain, and I'll bring them back. The next morning, this guy has cut open the cast. He's dyed a crepe bandage and he's jogging. So when I came back the next morning to be at the Y with my coach, and then I see these guys.
Why do you think he did it? Because
He felt he has to run. Day after tomorrow is my competition. This guy has put me in a plaster of Paris and I'm going to sit there. So I thought I have done a best treatment available in the country at no cost for these guys. And I was so proud. And I come here the next morning thinking that he's going to, Doc, thank you, and all that. Whereas he didn't even look at me. He said, you would have destroyed me, but for this fact that, I cut it open and I put my crepe bandage and I'm running now.
Doc, this is another thing. This immobilization and asking people to rest for somebody who's exercised, that's an imprisonment.
True.
So how did you even bring the difference there?
The reason is our medicine. I mean, again, I use the word our medicine here because what's what I studied as my base. And I realized our limitation on exercise. There's no knowledge on exercise. There is no knowledge on nutrition. And that was very important to tell an athlete, what should he eat? He's asking me, Doc, what should I eat now? I said, oh my God, what am I to tell him? Because I know nothing about nutrition. So I had to learn about nutrition to understand what a sports nutrition is, what sports requirements on the field as sports psychology, exercise physiology, and all those specialities, which gives me overall view on what is required. In that, I found again the limitations that are phenomenally high because I want to fix this guy as early as possible. And so I went around.
He's cast and he's running already, ignoring his injury.
And that means this guy can run. How that can be done with the taping or how it can be done with myofascial trigger release. And the coach said, okay, I can teach you something that he knows, as Ramanan sir was able to teach me whatever he knew as massage, effleurage, petrissage, etc. And that is all I started with. Because I was still a final year student, I am not even graduated and I had time. And I had sat down there to understand every massage possible. And as I went through these muscles, I found there are places where the patient says, oh my God, that's the part. So I thought they are muscle tears. So never knew that they are myofascial triggers. Everything that is painful on a muscle was a tear. But this is not a tear, which I had to learn because nobody told me so.
When was this?
These are all in 1983, 84, 85. Word myofascial I heard only in 99, 2000 when I went to Manipal Medical College and taking my classes. And I had shown them what I had learned and I can hold places and reduce the pain and make them move better. By the time, from 83, I've graduated quite a bit on this, not using the term myofascial trigger. And I had done these things. When I showed that, they said, this is myofascial trigger. The students there. I said, what? Okay, this is myofascial? Okay, show me, where is it? This book, Dr. Janet Travel, David Simmons, and they have written the book on myofascial trigger points in 1960s. And that's when I saw, oh my God.
Hear about this information?
It's only in 2000.
Oh, so you had started practicing
without knowing the word myofascial trigger exists. When I went for my master's in 1999 in Sydney, the University of New South Wales, sports medicine, I realized that when I showed all these things, though it was a myofascial trigger, today as I know it as myofascial trigger, I was using it, not knowing that. So people didn't know what I was doing there. Even in Australia, the same doctor, the textbook that carried Dr. Karim Khan, Peter Bruckner, these guys didn't know what I was doing. All I can say is, yeah, these are doing something I don't know. But the textbook today talks about myofascial trigger points and acupuncture points. So even in an allopathic practice, they have started to understand myofascial trigger point does exist and is part of allopathic practice, not somewhere else.
And sometimes I've seen this, they don't have to even talk about their pain. And you look at the person and then you say, I know where the pain is. I've seen that you hold that particular muscle and do this. And then they said, how did you even know that I had this pain?
See, when there is no fall, no injury, no accident, or no surgery, why did he get a pain? And that was more intriguing, because once you realize that we are able to get a population that is specifically injured, we know what to do. Here we are having a population that didn't get injured and they have a disc bulge and prolapse perhaps on an MRI finding. Clinically, when we examine, it doesn't correlate. And if so, what else could I do to assist them? That's where the exercise prescription made a huge difference. And keeping a healthy population healthy was an absolute requirement. And that's what today we are doing in Sparrc, and identifying that there are people who don't have to be operated, don't have to be investigated, and they sat down to produce pain. And why? So unfortunate, the pain is not a manifestation of only a structural damage. What we are telling people is that